People spend a lot of time on their phones, like way too much time. So let me share with you some of the ways that I was able to significantly reduce my screen time by about 60%. And now I only use it about 1.5 hours, 2 hours per day. Before I tell you ways to stop using your phone, let's talk about why we want to cut on screen time in the first place. Personally, I felt like whenever I used my phone, I was usually doing something unproductive like scrolling Instagram or playing Clash of Clans, which firstly made me feel like crap, but also caused a lot of irritation for my eyes, regardless of how dim the screen was. By cutting down on my screen time, I was able to be more productive in my everyday life and improve my eyeballs. It's a win-win. Now, being productive for me isn't just doing more work or studying for longer, but also connecting with others more. When I use my phone more during the day, I throw away time I could have spent connecting with others, playing sport, learning, and of course, being productive through work. I believe it's in everyone's best interest to be as productive as possible to truly maximize our enjoyment in life, whilst also contributing to something in the grand scheme of things, which I was really passionate of doing. So reducing screen time was definitely number one on that list. So let's talk about some small things I did, some tweaks, some tips, some tricks that I did to cut down my screen time significantly per day. Number one, notifications. Now, I don't use notifications at all. Here's my phone. I've cut down notifications for literally everything, okay? When I install any new apps on the phone, the first thing I do is turn off notifications, because every time anyone gets a notification, the first thing they do is check what it is, and then they unlock their phone, and the next thing you know, they're doom scrolling on TikTok. This happened to me too much, so I just got rid of them entirely. No, the clan needs your help chief notifications, or you received a Snap notification, or a Discord ping, because it all just increases our screen time, okay? Now, I can already hear some of you saying, what if somebody's dying, or, they need your help desperately to survive? Firstly, this just doesn't happen, okay? In my experience, I am not the primary contact for when someone is dying. Usually it's an emergency helpline or a parent. And secondly, I do allow notifications for 2 apps, the phone app and the Messengers app, built into my phone, my Google Pixel phone, okay? Now, I do obviously have notifications turned on for Clock, for Notion, but those 2 apps are probably the most important and what cause the most notifications on my phone. Now, people who have my phone number are given the magical and extremely privileged ability to contact me about anything at any time. But if you're trying to message me through Instagram, good luck getting a response. I'll probably respond in an hour or the next day. Turning off notifications will stop you checking your phone every 4 seconds and actually allow you to focus more on what's happening in front of you, whether that be studying or even your best friends trying to grab your attention. Just turn them off. You'll notice a huge difference in your screen usage, and they're really not that important. Number 2 is apps. I was going to make 2 separate points, one for social media and the other one for games, but it's really just easier to couple them together. Personally, I've found it super beneficial just to remove all the apps I literally don't need. I used to have a bunch of gaming apps on my phone to pass the time. I just removed all of them. Clash of Clans, gone. Tetris, gone. You just don't need them. Same goes for social media apps. I don't use Facebook, TikTok, or Twitter. I use Instagram to talk to friends, but that's because I feel like I'm actually able to control myself not to doom scroll on the reels. So if you are someone who struggles to not doom scroll on Instagram, then just get rid of it and use WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp, there's no distractions, so you can just use it to message people. It's all about being straight to the point. A phone is used to be more productive. It's used to get things done. And when you have all these distractions and all these companies trying to grab your attention, it's really just easier to remove all the distractions and use a phone for what it's meant to be used, as a tool. Now, my phone is extremely barren, and I like it that way. If you go to my phone and we scroll through my apps, these are all my apps. That's it. It's all my apps. I only have the bare essentials that let me live my life the way I want, rather than letting apps like TikTok or Clash of Clans take up too much of my time. Plus, it has the added bonus of freeing up storage for photos or videos because I take a lot of videos in 4K 60 FPS, like this one right now. Having those few extra gigs on my phone really does make a big difference. Number 3, hide your phone. Yes, this is something I do, and for me, it is super effective. Whenever I want to be productive at home and my phone is, staring at me on my desk behind me right there, I pick it up and I hide it under my pillow, okay? Or usually under my pillow. It sounds kind of ridiculous and like something that shouldn't work, but it's so effective for me. After a few minutes of doing work and I've hid the phone, I literally completely forget that it exists and I end up doing a bunch of work. Whenever I go gym or hanging out with friends in the area, I'll always try to not take my phone with me so I can spend more time focusing on the task and enjoying the silence rather than, when you feel bored, just instantly whipping out my phone. Now, there is science that backs this up too. It's called environmental friction, and it's mentioned in 2 really popular books, Feel Good Productivity, which is that green one there, and Atomic Habits, pretty much saying by making it harder to participate in a particular habit, you can pretty much eliminate your desire to do it. So by hiding my phone, I am making it harder to access it, which makes the effort to get it seem larger than what's actually in front of me, which might be doing work. It works 100% of the time, 50% of the time.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
So give it a go and see if it works for you. Now, number 4, I would say is actually one of the most important ones, which is phone layout. I'm a huge advocate for cleaning up the homepage and trying to make it as minimal as possible because a clean phone is a clean mind. Too many times, I've asked my friends for their phone to find something, find an app or find Instagram, and I swipe like 50 times through their sea of just apps that they never use, and eventually I find it. I like to find the most important apps that I use on a regular basis and have it all sitting on my home page. Any other apps I delete or I remove from sight. The smartest kid I knew in my high school did this, and he told me about it, and it said it helped him a lot when it came to doing schoolwork, so I copied him and I literally never looked back. Doing anything on my phone feels super quick and easy to do because everything is literally on the one page. There's no looking around for a specific app, so I reduce the time I spend actually on my phone, and I feel smarter because I've memorized all the apps on my homepage. It's actually crazy how underrated this method is, so please try it. I strongly recommend it to literally everybody who owns a phone. It's so good. This is what my phone looks like now. So I've got my homepage. When you unlock it, these are all the apps that I need, and I do have a second page, but it's about 8 apps. That's it. That's all my pages. And then obviously I have the 4 essentials at the bottom here. So please try it. It's really good. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I personally do to cut down my screen time, a hell of a lot. And I hope some of them help you out. If there is something that you do that I didn't mention here, I'd love to hear about it in the comment section below. Even though my screen time is less than 2 hours, I'm on the grind to get it under 1 hour. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Take care.